as his first solo album out, and we did a feature highlighting the tracks from that album here a few weeks ago, which was very well received. And I think you've got that same feel that they had. It's infectious. It catches you, and kind of like an earbud. You can't get it out of your head.
Thank you very much, David. Yeah, the Kingston Trio were definitely an influence and fantastic musicians, and I love what they did to the music scene. I'm looking forward to hearing that album.
Yeah, it's out now. It's called, let me make sure I get this right. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to reach it, and I can't quite reach it. It's called Simple Gifts. It's Bob Shane, the Lost Solo tapes, and it's interesting in that he does some stuff that he wanted to do for years. I had talked to Bob, and he told me he'd always wanted to do a country album, and of course he never could. And they were so popular, and he was so dedicated to their music that he never did go solo. And a bunch of tracks that he did on his own back in the 60s were found, and they remastered them in Nashville. And it's really an interesting album because you get a little bit of the Kingston Trio feel and sound, and you also get kind of an insight into Bob Shane himself. So if you get a chance to listen to the album, I know you're going to enjoy it. Simple Gift. And speaking of albums and everything, what have you guys got going now in the future? You got a new album coming, some new music or anything?
We're hoping to record after our tour. Right now we're kind of embedded into our summer tour. So yeah, I mean we're constantly writing down stuff and jamming and coming up with ideas for the next album. But really, this something to say is it kind of just came out. I guess it's a year that we released it. So we're still really excited about this album while we're writing the new tracks for the next one. I mean, we're obviously excited about what's going to come out of us on the next one as well, especially with Johanna So's help.
What's that?
I got to check number 2 off my list soon.
And what's number 2?
Oh, album number 2, I mean.
For her.
For
gotcha.
me, my second album.
I gotcha. And I think that that album name, Something to Say, was very well chosen because you listen to the music, it does have something to say. And it's kind of like an earbud. It gets in your head, and you almost have to listen to it. I mentioned also to you that this is one album that I will go back and I have programmed to play for myself, not just for the show here. And it's really a great and enjoyable album, and I'm going to share it now with John Bon Jovial now that he's gotten to hear it, because as he said, I never do let him hear things ahead of time. I want to get his spontaneous reaction. And now I'll go ahead and share it with you, John. I'll make sure you get a copy of it.
Well, that's very kind of you. Thank you so much.
And so we thank you guys. Go ahead.
Oh, you're very welcome. Yeah. Well, you had asked about Broken, and I just wanted to say my brother had written that about he heard a story from a girl that he had dated, and it was just it was really sad what she had gone through and all the trials and tribulations, and she had been mistreated and all this stuff, and he thought, oh my God, she's so broken. And then he realized how broken he was and kind of how broken we all are at times. And yet without those experiences and without those hardships, we wouldn't be the people we are today. So that was the inspiration for that song.
Well, I appreciate you going in because you just took away my final question I was going to ask, and I thank you. It's great when you have an artist guesting on your show who knows where you're going with something. I want to thank you so much for joining us today, sharing your story as well as your music, and especially telling us about this great album, Something to Say. The group is the Town Pants, ladies and gentlemen, and here is The Wall.
There's a world for you beyond the box you think the places that you've been. The person you were yesterday doesn't have to be who you are today. Don't stay behind the wall that you built, because it's just a masquerade. Tear down the wall that you built for yourself with yesterday. Leave behind the doubt and fear you once had, 'cause it's all about today. It's all about to change. Tear down the wall that you built for yourself of yesterday. Leave behind the doubt and fear you once had, 'cause it's all about to change. It's all about today. Those that don't accept your change, it's sad, but some prefer the lows. You know you're gonna trip and fall, but that's just the way it always goes. Get up, get out, be who you're gonna be, and just don't be afraid to feel. Should's a loaded guilt word, and no matter what you're going through, it's real. Tear down the wall that you built for yourself of yesterday. Leave behind the doubt and fear you once had, 'cause it's all about today. It's all about to change. Tear down the wall that you built for yourself of yesterday. Leave behind the doubt and fear you once had, 'cause it's all about to change. It's all about today. Yourself of yesterday. Leave behind the doubt and fear you once had, 'cause it's all about today. It's all about to change. Tear down the wall that you built for yourself of yesterday. Leave behind the doubt and fear you once had, 'cause it's all about to change. It's all about today.
There you go. They call themselves the Town Pants, and it's a great sound, don't you think, John Bon Jovial?
I love it. They're really good. Nice full orchestration. They did a great job. It's happy music. I like it. It's happy music.
It is. Yeah, just sit around to have a good time, good feel. And I was really impressed when I first heard them. I've listened to some Celtic groups. We've had a couple on in the past, but this was the first time I had heard of the Town Pants. You don't forget a name like that. But we've got to get moving on right now here on the David Bowers Awards, because our next guest is standing by and ready to go. So let's listen to a thing called Home, and we'll talk to Roy Aleksander right after.
It's so real, yeah. Nobody knows my pain, feels like I'm really trapped, yeah. In a dream with no escape. All these people trying to say they understand, but to be honest, you will never understand unless you see life for yourself. And I don't wish that upon no one else, yeah. I just wanna see you smile. Ooh, ooh, oh, I know that you're listening to me. if I want it sooner or later. Maybe you should get me, you know, 'cause I just wanna go. I'm too far from home, I need a home to call my own. Don't know if I want it sooner or later. Maybe you should get me, you know, 'cause I just wanna go. I'm too far from home, I need a home to call my own. Sadness is crippling, pill seems way more tempting. A world away from here, mama wouldn't want that from me. Don't come act like you really can. No, I ain't depression, just really scared. Sometimes I get in my own head, sometimes I just want to slowly fade away. In my dreams, oh yeah, I need something that can take all my pain away. Ooh, oh, I know that you're listening to me. I just wanna see you again. These eyes ain't really working for me. You're listening to me, and I just wanna see you again. These eyes ain't really working for me. Yeah. Don't know if I want it sooner or later. Maybe you should get me, you know, 'cause I just wanna go. I'm too far from home, I need a home to call my own. Don't know if I want it sooner or later. Maybe you should get me, you know, 'cause I just wanna go. I'm too far from home, I need a home to call my own.
And there you have it, Roy Aleksander. The song is called Home, and Roy is sitting in here with us, ready to talk to us. Welcome aboard, Roy.
Yo, what's up? How are you doing?
You're up, my man, and we're doing just fine. So glad you could join us here today. Roy, for our listeners... Roy, for our listeners, is in Oslo, Norway. He has been to the States recently, and you'll be coming back to the States sometime soon, won't you?
Hopefully, yeah. I will do some work over there, and hopefully I will be in the States soon.
We look forward to that. Please keep in touch with us. Let us know where you are. And if you're going to be out in public, we'll be sure and let the listeners know where they can find you. Tell us a little bit about your history, because Americans are not familiar with Roy Aleksander. Tell us about, where you got your start and how you got going in the music business.
Yeah, well, I started when I was like 12, 13, because at home, everybody was like interested in music in some way. My sister loved dancing. My dad played the piano, and my mom was just like, she loved all the classics, everything. Like, she would always put on some old music that I would just fall in love with. And that's where it started, me singing at home at least. And then it developed to me going out to like school things, and they would be like, oh, we want to have like a little performance. You want to perform? And I just said, okay. I think I did a cover of Payphone by Maroon 5. And yeah, that's how it started. And I just felt like I was doing something right. I did something that I actually enjoyed and was decent at least at that time. And that's where it all started, to be honest.
When did you turn pro?
Yeah. So the thing was that I never thought about it like that, but I was just going to a studio nearby when I was 13, and I just made songs for fun and put it on YouTube until the guy was like, hey, why not like start putting it on Spotify? And I was like, okay, let's just try it. And after that, it just started. Me and my dad, which is my manager, just went on that roll and kept on making more and more songs and put it on Spotify, on Apple Music, on iTunes, every platform. And
I'm glad you brought that up because I really wanted to be sure that we